good afternoon, and welcome back to the O'Neillian Show. I am John O'Neill, your host. I'm the agent of change. I'm here in the captain's chair. One more week in front of you to bring you something amazing. You know why? Because I'm amazing. And guess what? If you listened to the show last week, you'll know that you're amazing too. We are looking at all the ways that we can honor ourselves as a priority. In this season, the fall, we're falling. Things are falling away. Things that we don't want anymore. Things that we don't want to transfer into the new year. Things that we need to strip away to become new and change. And so here we are once again. If you didn't know, you're going to know right now that all of the shows, the O'Neillian shows, are up on starworldwidenetworks.com. Go there and check it out. There's a whole plethora. There's a buffet of shows, all the shows, the whole online categories there on starworldwidenetworks.com. You could get it in audio. You could get it in video. You could do anything you want. They're on demand even. Set your alarms, go work out, go in traffic, wherever and whenever you want. Just log in to starworldwide.com and starworldwidenetworks.com. Thank you very much. And check out the O'Neillian Show right there. We've been talking about the path of the lion. I got a little graphic right here in front of me, just in case you need a review. But we're talking about the path of the lion on everything that I do, because why? I am a lion. And my friends who I bring in are lions or lionesses or whatever. And so on the path of the lion, what we're doing is we're looking at our professional lives, right? And you could go on there and look and see that I had a show on leadership that you could tune into. I had a show on teamwork in your workforce that you could go on and listen to. We're looking at things, the path of the lion, and applying it to our professional lives. And you could look and find that there's a show on Family Matters. It just really talks about why in Family Matters. There's a show even on legacy. A lot of things that I do is legacy mindset, right? I want to build for the future. I want to change generational curses and cycles that have been going on in my life, right? And in my family's life. There's things that I want to do from a legacy standpoint. You could go on to the O'Neillian Show on starworldwidenetworks.com and you can find some spiritual things. I got a show on there called Soul Therapy that just deals with your soul and the therapy. And we got a show on there called A Healer's Journey, where Jalea from wholeharmonyhealing.com came in. Go check them out, by the way. And she came in and talked about a healer's journey and all the stuff that she's going through. It's mental awareness right now. And so I have shows called Be Me, where I just talked about being yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. Who cares? Let them do what they do. Let their opinions be what it is. Let their perspectives, let them live their lives. But guess what? I'm going to be me. We got a show on that. We got a show on Get Your Mental Right. Okay, getting your mind right. Every day I talk about the things that I do, the routines that I do. Every day I talk about, or all the time I'm talking about the optimism and the places that I go and the things that I do. We're getting our mind right. We got to be self-aware of who we are and what we're thinking and how we're operating in our energy and our vibration in every moment of the day. So we got shows on there, starworldwidenetworks.com. We got shows on growth, interpersonal growth, and how you become, how you trust yourself better. All of you know that this is the season and the year for me. I'm trusting myself. And so I'm looking for areas to trust myself more. We have a show called Affirmation, living an affirmation life, just having those positive terms, those positive people and positive words to help us get through and navigate through the day. So we've got all the things up on starworldwidenetworks.com. I would appreciate if you go and check it out. There's nuggets all over for any stage, anything going on in your life, whether it be a grief, whether it be success and celebration. No matter what is going on in your life, there is probably a nugget. There's a plate of food for you to eat right there on starworldwidenetworks.com. Click at the top, The O'Neillian Show, and man, it just runs all out. It's exciting to see we're here delivering content. So, man, trusting yourself. We're back. Gratitude. I gotta thank everybody. You know, I start every show with gratitude and thanksgiving. All of the interactions, all the viewers, all of the emails, all of the things. Man, I love it. Thank you very much. I give you my gratitude and my thanks from my heart to yours. Why? Because it fuels me. It excites me when I have feedback from you. So good, bad, indifferent, criticize or praise. It doesn't, either way, you are important to me. And so I love to hear from you. Check it out. So you can go to theonelian.com. You could leave a message there. You go all over my socials. The O'Neillian Show. It's everywhere. At the pound sign, whatever sign it is. The O'Neillian Show. All over the place. Twitter and all of them, TikTok, all of them. You get it. All of Facebook, all of them. You keep making me saying them. All of them. Instagram even, I'm saying. So go and check out The O'Neillian Show. Okay, without further ado, I'm going fast because I want time. I want time with my guest today. This is a special guest. It's a special guest that I brought in the studio, and I'm going to introduce her in just 1 second. But man, before I swing the camera over to her, she just takes over as the powerful woman that she is. I just got to say that she was someone who I met almost a year ago, right? And professionally, we met professionally. She was actually a resource given to me from this show, Star Worldwide Networks. They give you all the stuff for you to be successful. They don't just leave you out there hanging. And as a rookie, I was a rookie. You guys remember my first show, right? As a rookie, I needed some support around me. I talk about building a support group around you. I talk about having people help you. And so an instrumental person in my life, professionally, in my radio career, is this a radio career? In my radio career, even, I'm saying, this is a person who came on board. She saw the vision. She saw something. Maybe she'll explain. I don't know, but she was on board. All right. And it wasn't just because I was paying her lovely, but it's because she was a resource of the show. You know what I'm saying? And so she jumped on board, and all of my stuff, majority of my stuff, you see how it shines and how it glitters and how it swirls and how it sways and how it does all this fun stuff. Well, guess what? She's the fun stuff person. She's like bringing candy. She's all the sugar that I needed in my cavities, right? She's bringing everything and helping me out. Without further ado, we're swinging it right over. It's my very special guest, all the way from Texas. Don't hold it against her. All the way from Texas is Candi Luciano. Could I say it like that?
Yes, very well
Candi
done.
Luciano.
Thank you.
We're here with the Lucianos.
Oh my gosh, your vibration is so high. I feel like I need to sit up straighter and talk louder.
You better get in it.
Oh my gosh, so grateful to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
I'm usually on the other side of the table. It's nice to be in the Lion's Den today.
You are in the den and you are here, and we're not going to bite you because we got so much to get from you. Tell me about your business. You jumped on board. I didn't want to say it. I wanted you to talk to me about it. Which is right behind you. What is it?
I am a freelance graphic designer. I create for CEOs, entrepreneurs, and public speakers.
Absolutely.
I help them to create the outcome and world that they desire.
Okay.
And how I do that is to visualize and vocalize their story in a powerful way.
Wow.
So whether it be through logo design, branding, digital, social media, website design. A lot of public speakers need, introduction sheets and bios and,
yes,
PowerPoint presentations, keynote
yes.
presentations.
Yes.
Yes. I do all of the things.
All of those things.
All of the things.
She does all of the things. All the bells and whistles, I'm saying.
Yes.
Intentionalize is the name of the company.
Yes. I candy coat everything. So.
She candy coats everything.
Right.
I love it.
That's
I love it. And she does. And she did with me. And I guarantee you, man, if you need any of those, I call it a quiver. Her quiver is full. She's got all types of weapons back there. And she pulls them out. Anything I need, I give her a little tiny, man, there's sometimes we get on the phone and we just go back and forth, and she takes my words I'm saying and she expounds on it. She candy coats it, I'm saying, right? And it comes out wonderful, wonderful. So I thank you.
Well,
I really appreciate you just helping me out in my journey.
Well, thank you.
All right. But more importantly, look at, more importantly is you. So tell me about something that we don't know. I want to know how you got here. What about your journey? What's something amazing that happened to you that just stands out that would tell us who you are? Something about you.
Something about me. Well, this is my favorite story.
Okay,
it's
here
random,
we go.
But I saw Reba McEntire naked.
Oh my goodness
That's not
gracious.
what you were expecting me to say.
That was
I know,
not. That
but
was not.
it's a good opener.
Okay,
it's a good opener.
Reba, if you're listening,
yes.
Go ahead.
I was walking into the shower. She was coming out.
And there you go.
And that was it.
An awkward glance, or did you guys
We're about
Google?
the same height.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So anyway.
Nice.
So that's my claim to fame, Reba.
Okay. And Reba's telling the same story on the show right now. She saw Candi naked coming out the shower.
But talk about an amazing human being, right? Reba. She's got good energy, good vibes.
Great lady, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's not where you wanted me to go, but that's where I went.
That's a good story. It's okay. We're going wherever you lead.
So part of why I love doing what I do and the people that I do it with and for.
Yeah.
And so I call myself a recovering leadership executive.
Okay. You
And
worked
so
for
I've
many
had this
years.
amazing journey of leadership roles. I've started my own and sold my own creative agency to a public company.
Wow.
And then I was an executive of a public company.
Wow.
Yes. And so I have had amazing experiences, but I love the content that you and my clientele provide to the world on leadership.
Okay.
I think there's so much value, and everyone brings it in a different way.
Yes.
So like I have one client, Marvelous Mark. He has a whole rock star mindset spin.
Okay.
And he's super fun to work with because we
Right.
do a lot of keynote presentations with he wants a lot of the rock star whiz bang glitz,
Okay.
stuff like that. But everyone's got their persona. You got the lion.
I do have
Right?
the lion. Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So every client. So that's a skill. That's a skill that you probably had to develop. You're able to grasp everybody's vision.
Well, I'm passionate about your content and the
Okay.
content that public speakers bring,
Right.
to audiences like that. And I feel like with my background, I'm able to add value
Okay.
to
Sure.
the work that I do.
Okay.
So yes, I'm a graphic designer, but I know I'm so much more than that because
So much more.
I've had a seat at the table. I've had a voice at the table.
Have you always had a voice?
Excellent question. No, this will surprise a lot of people who know me. In college, I saved speech for the last elective
Really?
because I would get hives on my neck. I would get so nervous. I did not want to speak
Okay.
in front of people.
Really?
So I did not always have a voice. But somewhere along the way, I had other mentors and leaders that said, we can see you thinking, speak up. We
Speak
want to
up.
hear
Say it.
what you have to say and say it.
Right.
And so slowly I built my bravery and started to throw things out there. And it gave me power. It gave me a voice.
Wow.
And it actually made a difference in the companies that I worked for.
Sure.
And then I kept getting invited into new conversations, and that gave me energy. And when you're having positive impact on the lives of the people around you, you realize having that voice matters.
It's motivating, isn't it?
Yes. It is.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as you were, so let's stay right there for a minute. Your voice.
Yes.
Having a voice in going from not feeling like you have a voice to being in a position of having a voice, right? I could relate that to awakening the lion within you, Candi. And so tell me about, was there times when there was some friction as you were developing inside your own confidence? Were you always supported outside as you voiced your
Hell
self?
no.
Hell no.
Hell no. Absolutely not. I mean, it's interesting when you finally get brave enough as a person to have a voice and a perspective and put yourself out there, and then it works, and then all of a sudden you get crushed. So a couple examples are, so I really have tried to, at this point in my life, focus on, again, having a voice and keeping that voice, but living in integrity.
Okay.
And keeping my optimism.
Okay.
So I would say those are my values that I'm trying to stay true.
Integrity and optimism.
Yes, integrity and optimism.
Okay.
However, you know, and mindset is such an important thing. So I was very fortunate at one of the places I work. They sent me to this, it's called Being a Leader, a training in Dubai, where I learned all about the mindset and the power of the mind.
Okay.
So what I have now learned to do is when you're in the grip of life or you do get hurt by someone and how they respond to your strong leadership voice.
Correct.
It's all about shifting your mindset to, a different place.
Okay.
So an example is one of my coworkers once said to me, we were in the grip of like quarterly goals. And it was, I was in a role at that time, a leadership role where it was the bottom line stopped with me.
Okay.
And she basically said to me when I was pitching, our goals, big, hairy, audacious goals and things that we were going to do that quarter, that I was too optimistic, therefore inauthentic.
Too optimistic. Okay. Mm-hmm. And how did that feel?
Well, I had to really stop. I didn't like it at first, right? You have that visceral reaction.
Right.
And it hurts.
She smacked your baby.
Yep, she smacked my baby. And but then I had to pause and say to myself, am I being, inauthentic here?
Okay.
And I don't believe I was. Like, I really believed in the values of the company that I was working for. I believed in what we were doing. Yes, we were setting really big goals that maybe didn't seem achievable, but that's what great leaders do.
Right.
Because you're going to fall short, and so you want to meet those goals.
Right.
And at the end of the day, we're in business for purpose and a profit. So
Absolutely.
that was my, my role. But yeah, it hurt. And so I did consult other leaders on the team to say, hey, like, here's what occurred. Like, do you feel I'm being inauthentic? Like, how, help me out here.
Yeah.
And their perspective on this particular person is that she was just a very negative person on most things.
Sure.
And I thought about that. But this was a rock star. Like, this was someone you want on your team, high performer, but a very negative human being.
Okay.
And so I think during that and other experiences like that, I realized that I want to draw the positive energy around me. I want the optimistic people, the people that are going to lift me up, not these people like that are going to bring me down. So yes, you're going to have to lead all types of people.
Sure.
And so you navigate through it.
Right.
But I am learning to be okay with, be Candi, have that strong voice. It's okay.
It's okay.
And it's okay that some people are not going to like it.
Oh my goodness.
But that took me a long, long time.
That's a process. That's hard to really come to that place.
And it wasn't just her. There were other moments. I don't know if this is just my own occurrence, perception, or head games. My husband and I have talked about it. But there also seems to be an energy, negative energy, that comes from older men.
Okay. Wow.
Related to, I'm seeing some head nods in the audience here.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't really have an audience here.
No, they don't know that.
But, and I don't know if it was just a generational thing, but literally when even at a dinner table, it could be a personal social setting,
right? Having
dinner and having a point of view, whether it's on life events or politics or business,
right.
And I share my point of view or my perspective, you can see their body language change towards me.
Wow.
And it's not good.
Right.
And, again, my husband and I talk about it. Fortunately, I found, my person in Anthony. He is just like, please don't ever change. Like, I love the strong woman that you are. And so, again, that's the type of energy that I realized, okay, I found him, and people that do appreciate the energy and the voice that I bring. But there was a time when I wanted everyone to hear me, everyone to listen, and everyone to love Candi, want a piece of candy. And, that's just not the case.
Right.
That's not the case.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep. So what I'm hearing you say is that, as a woman, and a powerful woman, you found yourself in different environments, both professionally and personally, where it just seemed like a certain demographics, a certain type of audience would discount you right from the beginning.
Yeah. Again, I hate to generalize, but at that moment, my own head games was like, yes, female millennials and older men.
Okay.
Those were my experiences. Again, I'm generalizing there, and it wasn't everybody.
Not everybody.
I'm not that
Calm
person.
down.
I'm not that person. But yes, there was a little bit of a trend there, and I had to learn how to navigate that, bring them in enough not to have conflict, but also stay true to who I am and the voice that I have.
Sure.
And there's a delicate balance there.
Sure. So did you find yourself getting to a place where you were trying to break down their walls, or do you just say, hey, I'm just going to be myself?
I think you can't break down someone else's walls. I mean, you can give them tools and training and the mindset thing. So I did actually do some of those type of I brought the training that I learned from Dubai to some of the places I worked to try and help and influence that. And in some cases they were grateful, and I saw people grow, and, and that was beautiful. But this one human being, it was never, never connecting.
Really?
And it kept me up at night. I mean, I don't know why your demons come out at night, but your demons and your failures, right? Our head games and the things that you play over and over in your head that could put you to, sleepless nights. So yeah, I'm not going to lie, like that, those type of things.
It affected you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful to the people that helped me navigate that and to get to the other side of it. Yeah. Now, mind you say get to the other side of it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt still when those things happen, because it never gets turned off.
No.
There will always be those people, but now I've changed.
Yeah. That's all you can control is your own reaction.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you found that place.
Yes.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And now you have a voice wherever you go.
Yes.
Now you know your value. Now you're confident, you know your value.
Yes.
That's
Know your
good.
value. Yes.
Absolutely.
The path of the lion.
Congratulations.
Know my value. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what do you feel like though? Actually, I'm sorry. So at what point did you leave that type of environment and launch out? Because you're on your own now.
Yes, I'm on my own now.
100% on your own. And when was that transition? How did that go?
So I think that the world and some of the work environment things have changed. I'm very careful about talking politics, but at the same time, I have a voice. And so I think that things that people are learning and showing up to the workplace as a leader, how you show up is different. And I actually had, I'm going to get really vulnerable here.
Okay.
It was like, hard-hitting leadership, or end of the quarter. And I used the phrase, okay, come on, we're going to crack the whip.
Ooh.
I didn't know that was not okay, because my occurrence was people in my life saying it. And it just meant, let's get to
going.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. That is all it meant.
Right.
So that is my occurrence. That's my heart. And that's my correlation to that phrase.
Sure.
However, I got lectured by someone in the office who told me that it's a term of slavery. And it is something completely different than my occurrence.
Sure.
And I was mortified.
Right.
Like, I felt so bad because, again, that wasn't even remotely what my intention was.
Right.
Never meant to hurt anyone. So I thanked her. She's a lovely human being. We're still friends to this day. But I'm grateful to her for, having the conversation with me. But I really struggle with, if it's not your occurrence and your association, like, there are so many things. There's a whole book right now of things that we can't say or wear or do. And I just don't know. It's just not as easy to live in this
nation.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
but I genuinely love people.
Of course.
I love all kinds of people.
Of course.
And so it's frustrating.
It is frustrating.
It's frustrating.
I feel you on that.
Yes.
Especially when we strive to be free.
Yes.
Right? And I'm not talking about just from a national or political freedom, but you and I share that same a drive just to be free, to live free, to be our genuine self.
Yes.
And it's hard when you live in just freedom is just quotation marks, and they have all these restrictions.
Yes. Yes.
So it sounds like.
So I never answered your question.
Yeah,
that's actually, though, what at some point I just felt a lot of heaviness to. I'm not getting to be my authentic self in the way that I want to be, and I want that pressure off. And I have a gift, and I'm making money for everyone else. Like, let's go do it for myself.
Right.
And I do like the freedom. I'm also grateful that I did this because I'm now my mother's caretaker. Okay. My dad passed away a year ago, which was a very hard thing in my life.
Sure.
He was my hero.
Okay.
But now we moved mom to Texas, and she has 2 bad knees. One, she had surgery, but I care for her, but spend a lot of time with her. So having my own creative freelance agency allows me to adjust. Like, I love to work mornings till about 2:00 and then go spend time with her. Or take her to where she needs to go.
Right.
So freedom.
That's great. Yeah. That is success. I'd
like to think
very nice. Very nice. What else is going on? How has your voice and you getting a foothold in really kind of embracing your value, how has that affected you? It sounds professionally. I hear that. How about personally in relationships and just people around? How has that been received as you've gained your power?
So as you asked me that question, I went professionally first and personally. So I'll answer both. Like, what's interesting is you don't realize the impact you're having on people until they tell you. And so after I left, I was working for a software company. I was a vice president at that company. And after I resigned from that role, because I was getting so far from my creative roots, I decided I don't want to move that far into the role they wanted me to be in.
Right.
I left. But one of the other VPs, when I talked to her a couple months later, she said to me, "Oh my gosh, Candi, we miss you so much." And I said, "Wow. What is it that you miss?"
Right.
And she said, "We all were thinking the same things on issues, but you were the one who actually would say it and then start the conversation. We don't have that. We don't have that. And so it was things like that people have said to me since then, and expressing their gratitude for having that voice that really also fuels me to live into it now
Right.
as I'm older and heading towards 60.
Wow,
Can you believe
really?
that? Heading towards 60. Well,
I was going to say
57, but
33.
heading towards 60.
30 something. What is going on?
Yeah,
These cameras are working lovely. Everybody, take a look at Candy. That smile.
I saw this lighting.
Huh? Yeah.
All this good lighting at Star Worldwide Networks.
32. Going on 52.
So, but yeah, so that's that. And then personally, I think that I'm just naturally, so we moved to Texas, didn't know a soul. And the people that, again, I'm drawing as far as friendships are also people that are very similar. They have strong voices and
awesome?
perspectives, and I'm
Yeah.
learning
Right.
from them, and I thrive on learning from other
Wow.
people. So I have this amazing she network, a female tribe of amazing women.
Tribe out there.
Yeah.
Nice.
That appreciate
Yeah,
the
they appreciate
strong
that.
voice because they have it too.
Very good. Isn't that awesome how when you make that transition, you started attracting that all around you, both professionally and personally? Because I know professionally, when you and I talk, you say it straight. And I tell you, that's what I need. A person like me,
Yes. That was one of
I
the
need
first things you
straight
said to
talk.
me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things I said. I need you to say it. I don't have time for anything else. And so that's why we've worked very well together.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
I agree.
great, Candy. Those are
you.
awesome
Thanks,
things.
John.
Those are awesome things. I bet you, is there anybody out there who has dealt with the type of occurrences that our friend Candy has, right? As a professional or personal, have you been in positions where you felt like your voice wasn't heard, or you didn't have the confidence to speak out? Or maybe when you finally spoke out, it wasn't received well, or it was demeaned, or you were devalued in your voice. And so it sounds like Candy's got a great story to kind of teach us all to keep pushing through, to know who you are and to say what you mean, right? And it doesn't matter. You've gotten a place where it's okay for them to have a different opinion.
Yeah, and we would love to hear you on at The O'Neillian Show.
Uh-oh.
Comment on
Nice.
social.
Look, she's
Comment on
look.
social. Let's spark a conversation and make a difference.
Absolutely. Let's do it. We all can do it together. What an amazing story. What are you doing? So we know what you're doing now. How could people get a hold of you, and what do you have room for?
So somewhere up here, CandiLuciano.com is where you can find me. My brand is intentionalized. Be intentional, create for the outcome and world you desire.
Okay.
It's YZE, intentionalized.
I see that.
Yes. But because I'm moving into more of a lot of the speaker space, I might rebrand myself back to Candi Luciano.
Oh, really?
And go with that.
Okay.
So I'm kind of in my own brand transition and thinking of just,
Who
again,
knows?
living into who
You
I
are.
am.
Yes.
Yeah, getting more comfortable with that. I
Amazing.
don't know that I need another brand.
You don't.
Yeah, just
right?
be me.
We
So
are who we are.
we are who we are.
Man, you don't have to do any sales because it is.
Yeah, and I'm on social media at Candi, C-A-N-D-I, create, at Candi Create. So I
Candi
would love,
Create.
yeah.
All
So I
over the
want to
place.
hear your voice. I want to hear
Candi
your perspective.
Create.
Yes, Instagram, Facebook, all the socials.
Nice. Okay, and so what else can we celebrate you as? What other things can we celebrate? You know, I always, with all my guests, we just like to really celebrate, give you some flowers, okay? Because if there's not people around you, we got to know what our own flowers are. I believe that. And so, Candi, tell me just what are you happy with yourself in this season, in this time of your life?
Again, I think there's a fulfillment in the people and the energy that I'm drawing around me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just the right type of people. So yes, if you want to be part of my tribe, come join me and let's have that conversation, whether it's on social or if you're a speaker or an entrepreneur, I love to work with startup entrepreneurs. Like, let's build that voice for you and your brand. You obviously have, something you're setting out to do with a purpose. And I want to help you tell that story. So that's how you can celebrate me is let's chat.
Let's celebrate.
Chat.
Celebrate by looking her up. CandiLuciano.com. She's got all types of tools and techniques to help you be better, to help you shine, to sugarcoat everything, to give you the bells and whistles, right? Like she's done with me. She's done a phenomenal job. I'm grateful for her friendship. I'm grateful for her professionalism. I'm just grateful for her to be in my circle. Like she said, once you get to a certain stage, ladies and gentlemen, once your lion is awoken, once you start down that path of a lion, it's amazing all the people that just come in a fold because you could recognize them in a different form and fashion. So it sounds like all the energy, both in your neighborhood and in where you live, where you work, online, you're just attracting all of those things.
Yes.
And that's a great thing to celebrate.
It feels good. I feel fulfilled.
Fulfillment. Wow, she feels fulfilled. That's a nugget that I could take because I want to fulfill every day. Win the day, is what I say. And fulfillment is part of what that is. Tell me some more again. You talked about integrity and optimism being kind of your mantra, kind of your theme.
Yeah, integrity is an interesting thing because I hear a lot of people or a lot of companies use integrity as a core value.
A lot,
right?
Sure.
It's like the default core value.
Yep.
And I kind of roll my eyes at it because I'm not sure a lot of us really think deeply about what integrity is.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And I do believe that all human beings, we go in and out of integrity all day long, every single day.
Sure.
Like even right down to a crazy example is, how many times do you like run into someone and you're like, yeah, I'll call you. Let's get together. Or I'm going to call you. And then you just don't.
And you don't.
And that's being out of integrity. So unless you reset expectations and communicate and reset what you promised to do, then you're out of integrity.
You're right. I
But
agree.
it's hard to stay 100% in integrity. So yes, I always say we're, as human beings, ongoing works of art.
We are.
I'm constantly learning, growing, working on this staying in integrity thing. And believe me, like I've made a lot of mistakes, mistakes that, again, keep you up at night. But I had to learn to forgive myself and do my very best to
trust yourself.
Trust
again.
myself. Trust myself.
Trust yourself.
That should be in the path of the lion.
It is. Okay. Yes. I love what you just said about integrity because you're so right. There was a time, probably within the last year, a couple of years, where that example is what I stopped doing because I couldn't stand when I did that. I couldn't stand when other people do that. Oh, I'll call you or let's get together. I started telling people, dude, unless we're going to do it, let's not say we're going to do it. You know what I mean? I mean, we're still cool. And next time I see you, we're going to, hug and all those types of things. But stop saying let's get together. We need to meet for lunch and we need to do, because we don't do it. We haven't done it.
Sometimes we do.
Sometimes we do.
But yes. But it's the default thing to say.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree. How about optimism? How do you live your life in optimism?
Yeah, I feel like the mindset and the optimism go hand in hand there. I think, again, just like integrity, you're going to go in and out of the good and the bad all day long, right? But it's all up here. And I do believe God gave us our most powerful asset is our mind.
Yes.
And it controls everything for the good and the bad. And when we learn to manage it, the bad stuff, just like I shared, is going to happen.
Sure.
But learning to move yourself from the bad stuff to the good stuff in your own mind is what will give you the power and the confidence to have a voice and keep going and, again, this is another thing. Like everybody's wearing kindness t-shirts and the big movement for being kind. I'm all about being kind. However, there's an inauthenticity to that too. You're wearing the Be Kind t-shirt, but I've seen some Be Kind people do some really unkind things. So here I am going off on my tangent again. Sorry.
Right.
No, I'm not sorry.
Go ahead.
I take that apology right back.
Thank you.
See, that's what we women do. We apologize for every damn thing.
Wow.
And we don't need to.
You don't need to. Absolutely not.
Yes, but it's still a habit. So reeling it back.
Reel it back in. Reel it back in.
Reeling it back in.
Reel it back in. Stand in your power. You said it. And I agree with it, actually. Right? A lot of times we walk around with some type of saying or some type of, and we're not even exemplifying it. We're not even exemplifying it. Optimism is something that you and I share. Integrity. You and I share that. Absolutely. And along with those things, last week, we were talking a little bit before the show, but last week I talked about detachment and attachment, right? Things detached and attached. In this season, I'm talking with everybody about the fall. We're calling it the falling season, falling away, things falling away, and looking at things that we're detached from or unhealthy attachments, right? And so tell me a little bit, Candi, has there been anything recently in your life where you've had to really evaluate, is this a healthy attachment?
Yeah. And it's funny because you say recently, and I would say my mom would testify that it goes back to even like childhood.
Wow.
Candi wanted everyone to like her.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And even as an adult,
sure,
Candi wanted everyone to like her.
Okay.
But now Candi in her power, I'm okay if you don't.
Really?
Yeah, I want you to. I'll try.
Sure.
But if you don't, that's okay. I'll love you from a distance.
Okay. You'll be all right with that?
I'm okay with that.
So your unhealthy attachment was what would you call it? Seeking people's
approval and their
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, I think my aha and awakening was the people that have impacted and made me a better human being are not the people that gave me the validation. Oh, Candi, you're great. Oh, Candi, you did this.
Yeah.
It was the people that were direct and straightforward and looked me in the eyes and said, Candi, you messed up.
Sometimes challenge you. Yeah.
You effed up. And here's how you can be better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one even brought me to tears. And those are the people that have changed my life. And interesting, I talk about this, you know, like as a woman, I'm also really big on, we're also living in a movement where women say they support other women. Like, however, do you know all my mentors have been men?
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's shocking.
Yes.
Really?
And they have lifted me. They were positive. My biggest mentor was, he was in mergers and acquisitions of software companies.
Okay.
And I was working in Arizona doing I had freelancing at the time. Mm-hmm. And he basically said to me, he's like, Candi, like, what are you doing? Like, I was doing all of the sales and the bookkeeping and all the things you got to do to run a business at night and staying up all night and then, you know, creating during the day. And he said to me, look, why don't you just give me, you know, a few hours of what you can, you know, offer creative services. Mm-hmm. He said, and I'll teach you everything that I know about business. Well, he was in mergers and acquisitions, and he, every time they closed a deal, they had to rebrand because there were two companies merging together. So then I got the work.
Right.
I didn't know that was going to happen, but he gave me like the greatest gift of learning without any expectation. And one day, as years went by, and I was so grateful to him, I'm like, his name was Ken. Ken, why did you do this? And what did you want out of it? He said, Candi, just do it for somebody else. And I have.
And you have.
And I have.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, but going back to my high horse of tangents, my mentors have been men, and it has more often been women that have diminished me in my role. Yeah. I don't know the why.
You don't know why? I still challenge
to have the why. Now, as the last 5 years or so, I would say that has changed.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if it's because I have changed.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
But when I talk about my she group, these are all women that are super powerful, confident in who they are, have a voice. When we get together, just last night, I'm in Arizona, right? So I pulled together my peeps.
Right.
I have a couple single friends still, and they were just sharing the most horrific dating stories. It was hilarious. But we lift each other up. Like we share our leadership woes and the pros and the cons, and help each other navigate through all of these things. But
is there any stories you can share? Now I'm curious. Is there any stories? Leave the names out. Is there any way you could get across one of the crazy stories?
Oh my gosh.
Dating stories of 2023. Listen up.
You should actually have my friend Anila on your show.
Oh, I would love to.
She is a badass female.
Okay.
CTO, Chief Technology Officer. And she has dating stories that
hilarious.
Will blow your audience's mind and we were laughing so hard to tears.
That is hilarious.
They were long stories, so I don't have any little niblet that I could share. They were very long stories, but they are so funny and so absurd. And all I know is at the end of it, I am so glad to be happily married.
Thankfully, you're not out there trying to wade these waters.
Brutal out there.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
There's no line of good, high value, distinguished men.
Okay, I have. I'll show. Here's one little niblet. So this was not an Anila story. This was another friend who was there.
Okay.
I won't identify her to protect her.
Sure.
However, she's doing the whole Bumble match, whatever, one of the online dating things.
Yeah.
And she saw on this guy's social media a girl that was attached to him. She does all her stalking, right? She's a smart, savvy businesswoman, so she does her research before dating. And the woman was talking about that she thinks this is it. She found her person about this guy 3 days before their date.
What?
She doesn't back out of the date. She decides to go on the date and waits to tell him until half the date is over.
And then she bursts his bubble.
And let me tell you, it's a good story.
Oh my goodness, you got to hear that one too. That is hilarious.
Yes.
That is hilarious. Yes, I agree with you. I'm glad that I'm not out there either. It's rough. It's rough. So check it out. We love to hear all of these great things. I love, as I told you, whenever I bring a friend in, I want to celebrate them, right? I want to celebrate the things that they've gone through. And it sounds like you're going to hear, we're going to look for your feedback. We're going to look for some of your interaction to tell us, especially if you're a high-powered woman in any type of environment. What types of things, like Candi has said, what types of things did you run into when you were trying to gain your voice, right? And what type of support group was around you? What type of people were trying to block you? And then how did you overcome it? So Candi is a success story. It took her a while. She went through the process, right? Pain and gain, I'm sure. And she came out as wonderful as I have experienced her in the last year. So I don't know what happened before that, but the last year has been great. This new version of Candi is wonderful.
Thank you.
And I'm enjoying every bit of it with intentional eyes.
Thank you.
And CandiLuciano.com. Candi, listen, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, John.
You're going to come back again, right?
Absolutely, 100%. If I'm invited
great.
back, I'll be right here.
You're invited back. You're invited back
All
anytime.
right.
Whenever you're in the area, or maybe I'll just come out to Texas. I could do that too. We could do a road show in Texas.
Oh, that would be fun.
You know, I like that too. Tell us, I'm going to ask you before we go, if you could look in the camera right there and give us a nugget. We're here to, you've already given us a lot to think about, but you know, is there anything on your heart or in your spirit that you want to tell the world to know?
Let your lion roar.
Wow. Let your lion roar, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right here. Candi has embraced, she's awakened her lioness, right? It's male or female. Don't tell me just lion. It's a lioness. She embraced it. She's got a voice. She knows her value. She speaks to the opposition. She roars when it comes against her. She is learning kindness, gratitude. I know she lives a life of gratitude. Absolutely. We talk about it all the time. And she's in an environment that's supporting her. And so she's able to show the lioness's love in things that she's doing every day, including her mom. Oh my goodness, is that not a blessing for her to have the position in her life, for her to have come out into the freedom so that she could give back and love on her mom in these last few days?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, tell mom we said hello.
She'll love that message.
Absolutely. Mom.
Sandy.
Sandy. This is John O'Neill, and I say hello as we go. Peace out. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Candi.
Thank you.